Hey guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more butterfly poison, continuing Fujita's route, and we have discovered that we might possibly be in love with him. Wait! So, lovely. Anyway, having worried endlessly on her own last night, Spacey wakes up this morning with an idea. Hey, Fujita? Yes, what is it? I need a favor. Will you hear me out? Of course. What can I do for you? I feel like I can't get his voice right. I want to go to the town where you were born. What? The town where I was born? Vegeta blinks at her in confusion, and his stupefied look elicits a smile from Spacey. Yes, precisely. Well, it is a little far. So we'll leave early. Oh, wait. Is going to Yokohama going to cost us a lot? Is that why you're hesitating? No, please do not worry about that. I'll do something about that. But why did you suddenly want to go to my hometown? I'm just curious. Isn't that a good enough reason? It is good enough, but... Fujita seems to be puzzled as a wry smile makes its way to his stony face. You're always so spontaneous, my lady. You never cease to surprise me. This side of you is bad for my heart. That's rich coming from you. For the past few days, you've been revealing new stories about yourself and surprising me. Oh, I might have indeed. And that's why I want to know more about you. We can be less bothered by the public eye in a place far from here, right? No one knows us there. No one's going to scrutinize us for our social statuses, which you seem to care so much about. Yes, that is a sound argument. Vegeta breaks into a smile, and his response gives Spacey a sense of relief. It's kind of interesting that he's like, why do you... Oh, you want to go to my hometown? Like, do you realize we're flirting with you, sir? Are you into this? Like, huh. She was ready for him to reject her, as he did during their previous dinner. Perhaps the fact that Fujita's hometown is located a little ways from the capital has helped in making him feel less reluctant about her suggestion. He casts his eyes down toward the floor and ponders. I am happy that you're interested in my hometown, my lady. However, I may not be the best guide to show you around. Huh? Why not? I've not returned to my hometown in quite a while. Things might have changed there. Yeah, like the Port Mafia's running all over the place. I'm sorry, what? Wrong, not different time period and game versus anime? Sorry, I love Bogo Stray Dogs and it takes place in Yokohama. I've also been rewatching it because I'm like, there's a whole fourth season I never saw and the fifth one is starting to slowly come out. So I'm like, I gotta catch up. And now I'm like into the fourth season and I'm like, well, shit, but there's only like one episode in the fifth season and I'm gonna run out of shit to watch. So like, what the hell? Yeah. Because I forgot it's not like everything else where it's like, the new season's coming out and then it's all out at once. It's like coming out like normal. Like one per so often and you're like, that's weird. That's old-timey shit. With modern streaming, you just dump it all at once at us. What the hell? I don't know how to do this. Like, once every so many weeks thing or whatever it actually is. I don't know. Like once a week? Oh, you really? Weekly? What? What is this, the 1990s again? Jeez. So it's weird. Anyway. That's all the more reason we should visit. Yes, you might be right. Well then, will you accompany me on my trip back to my hometown? Vegeta responds positively, and Spacey internally jumps for joy. It is interesting how he's totally okay with it. What is happening? The next day, they both took the train for Yokohama early in the morning, and we're not telling our brother, so. This feels a lot like a small getaway to Spacey, and nothing can dampen her mood today. I understand if he's like, oh, I have some time off, so my day off, I'm gonna go and do this. Like, okay, our brother's like, whatever. Vegeta's not here. What did we tell him? Where are we going? He's gonna be like, where the hell's Spacey? And everyone's like, I don't know. I haven't seen her. Mostly since this is her first time covering such a long distance alone with Fujita. He's wearing a traditional Japanese hakama outfit today again. Again today, sorry. Hakama? Hakama? I don't know where the accentuation goes. She wonders if he's more comfortable dressed in Japanese attire when he's outside of the manor, although he normally wears Western attire when he's inside. So, Vegeta, are you excited now? Yes, a little. Really? You could have sounded a little more energetic. Aren't you thrilled that you're finally visiting your hometown again? I heard that many factories were built around the port during the war. The more people you have, the more the town's landscape will change. I cannot even begin to imagine how much the town must have developed. Vegeta, he's staring outside the window. She glances at his profile and catches a tinge of inexplicable sorrow there. Has she forced Vegeta to do something he didn't want to do? Up until a second ago, Spacey was happy because she could go out with him. But the clouds looming over Fujita's features makes her grow increasingly uneasy. Oh, my apologies. I assure you that I do want to visit my hometown again. Really? Yes. I appreciate your offer, my lady. But without your suggestion, I would have never thought of coming home again. Which means that to Fujita, his hometown isn't exactly a place he'd want to return to. I guess he wouldn't have after going through a lot of painful experiences there. Still, Spacey thought those excruciating experiences should belong in his past. She went ahead believing that after so many years, Fujita must have thrown away all of that burdening baggage. But apparently she thought wrong. His bitter past as a young man is perhaps something that can't vanish overnight. Spacey's now slightly regretting this trip. But the train pulls to a stop. They've arrived in Yokohama. The train station itself is a stylish Western-style building, and being a port town, there are rows of Western houses. Overall, the look is very chic. Spacey gives everything a cursory look, taking in scenery that's quite different when compared to Tokyo, and gushes in excitement. Whoa! There are more foreigners here than Tokyo! Wow, look at all the non-Japanese people! Could you imagine fucking rolling up into town and be like, wow, there's a lot of foreigners here. Cool. Like, I'm so tone deaf. I know she probably didn't scream it out loud where everyone could hear, but it just sounds so funny when you think about it. You're like, girl, shh, simmer it down. Yes, and there are also people from China, even though they might be a little hard to spot, and because Chinese and Japanese people tend to look similar. If we go to their neighborhood, we can try the unique flavors of their cuisines. So I'm just going to throw this out there. This is a Japanese man saying that a Japanese person has a hard time telling the difference between Japanese and Chinese people. But if a white person were to be like, I can't tell the difference, we'd be racist. Because we know the difference between all the flavors of Asian. But even Asian people can't tell the difference between all the flavors of Asian. Just saying. Kind of like, you can't tell the difference of all the white people. You can't look at white people and be like, that's an Irish person, that's a Swedish person, that's an American person, until we open our mouths, then sure. But, like, you can't, just by looking at a bunch of white people. You don't know where we came from. We're a hodgepodge bunch of mess. I just think it's funny. Like, see? Nobody can tell the difference between anybody. Like, well, like, I don't know, you're like a person. I don't fucking know where you came from. Does it matter? Just tell me. Like, nobody can tell anybody apart. You look like a people. That's all that matters. Really? From China? That sounds interesting. I like Cantonese food. Here we can eat Chinese-style noodles, too. Would you like to have some later? Of course! I'm so excited! Noodles. With Vegeta as her guide, Spacey sets out to walk around the town of Yokohama. The moment they got to the port, they caught sight of a departing ship. The people in the port are throwing colorful streamers toward the ship. It's truly a buoyant sight to behold. Well, I hope this ship is buoyant. There's another ship that's just returned to the port, and a foreign married couple's walking down the stairs. Spacey watches as the couple's greeted by several servants in impeccable suits. Everything about the port is a new experience for her. There are many foreigners in the town of Yokohama, dwelling there like it's the most natural thing to do. It's so funny. It's like it's so natural for people of different races to just live in the same spot. Imagine! I know it's the time period and whatever, but it's still kind of funny when you think about it. Of course, there are foreign residents back in the capital too, but since Yokohama's a port town where trade is thriving, it's a marvelous space in which Japan and foreign countries mingle. It's just because there it's like, well, there's one random not Japanese person in the town. What are they doing? And here it's like, wow, it's just the colors of the rainbow over here. So I get why it's different, but it just seems so funny. Because it's like anywhere you go, it's like the fucking, like, Like a bag of Skittles. There's just a bunch of different freaking colors of the rainbow everywhere. You know what I mean? Like, you're just used to that. I mean, I guess I'm being an American. You're used to that. You're used to walking around and you're like, there's an Asian person, and then there's a black person, and there's white people, and then there's probably Canadians there too, and like that guy's French over there, and like, I mean, they're white people, but you know what I mean? Like, you see people from all different freaking places. Like, you're like, okay, whatevs. It's not uncommon. So, like, it's just funny in this context to read her being like, wow, so many different people. And you're like, that just seems so, like, normal. Like, I just find it kind of cute. You're like, but it's a little sad too. Like, wow, that's the way it should be. You know, there should just be every kind of people, every kind of wear, and nobody should be looking at anybody like they're fucking a freak for not looking like you. You know what I mean? Anyway, after walking for a while, they entered the Fumiya Cafe, which seems to have been newly established about 4 years ago. Stacy relaxes in her seat, treating her parched throat with tea and letting her legs rest while eating one spoonful after another of her favorite ice cream. And oh, look, we have a little CG eating ice cream! He's got ice cream too! We're eating it with a spoon, right? Oh god, I forgot. I'm sorry. God damn it. I forgot how to. I was trying to hide the text. I forgot how to do it. I really, really need to go into the options. Anyway. By the way, Fujita, where's your house? We should stop by. Right. Actually, the house is no longer there. Huh? Spacey's eyes widen in surprise. What are you talking about? We've actually passed the location where the house once was. I heard it was demolished years ago. Oh no. At first, it took me a while to accept the fact. After all, there wasn't even a trace of the space that I used to spend my childhood in. See, sorry to hear that. Disheartened, Spacey drops her hand to the table and stops eating her ice cream. My lady, you shouldn't feel down about it. But, to be honest, I was relieved. I did feel a little sad, but the fact that the town is growing could only mean a good thing. But the house was a place of your memories with your mother. Indeed it was. A ghost of a forlorn smile makes its way to Fujita's countenance. But the town and the people change as time passes. It's not something that we can prevent. Besides, although my house is gone, my memories with my mother are safe here. Fujita lifts his hand and rests it on his chest where his heart is and smiles at Spacey. One can always create new memories wherever one wants. And coming here with you has become one of my important memories of this town, my lady. Fujita's kindness is so tremendous that Spacey feels her heart clogged with emotions. Eyes burning, Spacey quickly berates herself for nearly crying and forces a cheery smile to her face. Well, I guess that means we need to make a lot of memories today. Absolutely. Oh, I remember now. There is a place that I wanted to visit. Knowing you, Fujita, it must be a sweet store. What? How did you know? Of course I would know! They both move to leave the cafe and begin their sweets tour. Afterwards, they stop by a bakery that was built 2 years ago to eat the sweet buns and Siberia sponge cake, and then they stopped at a long-established Chinese restaurant to drink the sweet almond soup, and then a pastry shop to buy the baked goods. Basically, Fujita's desire for sweets is akin to a bottomless void. That's actually kind of endearing and adorable. That this is his character trait. It's like, his character trait is just like constantly eating sweets and is like bottomless pit where you can stuff all like the pastries. Although Spacey feels like she's had enough sweets to last her a lifetime and more, she's content with watching Fujita practically beaming at the sweets. This is adorable! Initially, Spacey wanted to see the place where he was born and raised. And as he said, the town seems to have changed quite a lot in the last couple of years. Assuming his mother's dead. You know what I mean? Because instead of being like, well, let's go find where my mom lives now. You know what I mean? Like, I'm assuming she's passed away. However, she doesn't mind because Fujita's looking much brighter now compared to when they were on the train. And that's a good thing. Although the things that are nostalgic to Fujita are lost, he can always make new memories, just as he said. She was genuinely happy when Fujita said those words to her. I feel like today I've seen yet another one of your new facets. Although he maintains his butler-like tone and attitude, he's been able to act just a little more freely today outside the perimeter of the manor, and this side of Fujita has managed to kindle those faint and sweet feelings in Spacey's heart. Coming to Yokohama has taught her one thing. Fujita wants to be Japanese more than any pure-blood Japanese precisely because he was born as a man of mixed parentage in this town where a lot of foreigners exist. Perhaps his obstinacy to remain a man of meticulousness and formality, despite the risk of being called old-fashioned in the process, is his way of showing to others that he is Japanese through and through. As Spacey considers the likelihood of her theory, she finds that she's growing fonder of this butler with a poker face. A few days later, skip in. Oh, Grandma's coming for marriage talks! Alright, you should go talk to this boy about getting married. You want to know what I think, brother? I think under any normal circumstance, you should get married first. No way. Who wants to be tied down by marriage? Not me. So, what are you going to do, Spacey? I don't know. Well, what should we do with Sheba? We can forget about him. I don't think he's gonna ever back down. Right. So we should exclude that man from the picture. If you're not into this whole marriage interview, you should turn it down as soon as possible. It's going to save the other party a lot of trouble, too. Yes, I know. Vegeta briefly crosses Spacey's mind. How will he react to her marriage interview offer? She has a feeling she knows the answer, and she won't like it. Still, Spacey wants to somehow corner Fujita and cause that stony mask of his to break. I like how she's like, fucking with, she's like, I am gonna pounce this man and see what happens. Like, she is like determined, and I'm into it. He likes to think that the distance between them has shrunk considerably over the past few days. Even so, she still can't say for sure that she understands Fujita and what goes through his mind. Spacey never tries to hide her hate towards Sheba, and Fujita knows, which is why they never talk about Sheba either. But what about this marriage interview? It's an idea her grandmother has brought up. She can't just be blunt and reject her. I think Fujita will surely tell me to accept the marriage interview offer. She knows very well. That's why she doesn't want to talk about this with him. Still, there's a part of her that's hoping she can get a different answer from him, no matter how impossible it may be. But if you say something, you have to watch and read him for him to be like, that sounds like a great idea! Instead of him being like, yes, I think you should do it. You know, you gotta see, does it look, you say that you think it's a great idea, but you don't look like you think it's a good idea, you know? Although he's really good at the stony facade, so I don't know if we could read through that, but... Vegeta may continue building walls and creating distance between them, but she still wishes to get closer to him. It's what she wants, and she can't even lie to herself about it. All that talking with grandmother has drained my energy. I think I want to have dinner early. For the past few days, Aki's out with a cold, so Fujita's been cooking her food. What? Really? I guess we can look forward to some interesting dishes then. Fujita's actually really good at cooking. I tried to help him cook, but I was more of a hindrance instead. He's amazing. Maybe we can hope to eat something tasty today. Mizuhito chuckles, looking none the wiser. She bets her brother doesn't know a thing about Fujita, including his past. Actually, she's sure he doesn't even care. Fujita's a scrupulous and serious man. His personality is so incompatible with her brother's, seeing as how her brother is pretty much living in his own world. And her brother, being himself, never listens to Fujita's scolding or words of advice. Her grandmother probably brought up the subject of marriage because she's worried that without their parents around, this household must be in an extremely precarious position. What her grandmother doesn't know is that this household has always been this way, dependent on Fujita. The only person in the household who's holding everything together. Her parents were totally clueless about financial management, so frankly, even if they were alive, they'd probably still end up on the verge of bankruptcy. The only way to save this household is through marriage. Macy knows it, and she believes Fujita's even more aware of it. Hopeless and cornered, darkness fills her heart. I really want a bad ending to be like, we go to the marriage thing, we decide we're going to get married, but we keep Fujita as our butler, and we're just having a secret love affair with him. I just want that. It's probably going to be she's pining over him, and he's pining over her, and then nothing ever happens. But, like, I kind of want the secret affair thing. Come on. That's a bad ending for the poor husband. It's kind of a good ending for us. Like, we still get our butler, but it's also like we're a horrible person who's cheating on her husband with our butler, but, you know, but I get to date my butler still. You know what I mean? It's like one of those, like, that is a bad ending, but it's such a bad ending that it's so good bad, you know? I like those kind of endings where you're like, this should be horrible, and there's a part of me that's appalled that I really like this bad ending. Like,
Fujita, I'm impressed. I think you'd make a good chef.
that is very kind of you. My brother's a picky eater, so you should have more confidence in your cooking skills, Fujita. With the economic boom of the war, the prices of commodities are soaring. The household's barely getting by, but Fujita's cooking skills have allowed them to taste restaurant-class food for the past several days. Fujita seems to be skilled in all aspects, and Mizuhito's impressed. The siblings are relaxing on the long couch after their meals while sipping at the tea that Fujita's prepared for them. And then, Mizuhito turns to Spacey and asks in a lazy tone,
The news grandmother brought is still such a downer. Spacey, I think we'll have to give her an answer by next week.
Yeah. What are you talking about?
A marriage interview offer for Spacey. Our grandmother came today just to inform us about that.
I suppose a hearty congratulations is in order, sorry. As she feared, Fujita remains expressionless after stating his reaction. Oblivious to the turmoil inside his sister's heart, Mizuhito asks Fujita,
The interview's going to be with the second son of a wealthy farmer family. He just came back from London and he's now working as a senior official at the Ministry of Agriculture and Commerce. A promising man, really.
I see. He indeed sounds like a fine man.
What do you think? Do you think he's going to be a suitable partner for Spacey?
I believe I'm not in the capacity to offer my opinion.
Fine. I just thought that maybe you wouldn't want to let her marry into a family with no peerage rank, seeing as you seem obsessed with social status.
Well, the late madam seems to be particularly supportive of the young lady's potential marriage to Mr. Sheba. Therefore, I believe if she were still alive, she'd be just as thrilled for this marriage interview offer.
I see. I think that in this case, your opinions are based not on social status, but your master's opinions.
Mizuhito nods in understanding. Spacey, on the other hand, levels Fujita with a reproachful glare for his indifference. He's a man who voices opinions without basing them on his own views. This time, he used her late mother as an excuse to avoid having to express his own thoughts. Because his own thoughts would be like, I hate the idea, I don't want her to love anybody but me. Wait, did I say that out loud? It's awful. He didn't even bat an eye. See, but this is exactly what I said before. Like, we gotta get it up to say to him and then see, and then I'm like, but he's so stone-faced that we probably can't read him, and this is exactly what's happening. Inside, he's a mess of emotions. Like, no! But he's like, but on the surface, he's like, that sounds like a wonderful idea. And inside, he's screaming in agony. Good acting. The man's face remains as stony as ever. Where's the tender gaze that he's been showing to Spacey lately? I think I'll accept the marriage interview offer. The words are out before she can stop herself. The only person in the room turning to her with wide eyes is Mizuhito. Are you serious? Yes, meeting him once doesn't sound like a bad idea.
But once you meet him in the interview, it'll be more difficult to turn down the marriage offer.
I feel like we have to because... No, never mind. The Shanghai doll ending isn't the same one. Because remember in Sheba's, like, we got... The good ending was based on them seeing Majima and then calling off the marriage because of that. So I'm assuming it's going to be the same similar thing. You know? But that ending was... That was a different bad ending. Like, not accepting the ride home meant that they didn't see Majima would... But that's not the Shanghai doll one. I don't think. Was it? Because that was the first save. That was a while back where we would have made that save. So I feel like that's a lot to skip through to get that ending. Because that was the last one we did. Now I can't remember. Anyway. Will it? Spacey inclines her head. Fujita, what do you think? She shifts her gaze and fixes it on Fujita, who's standing a polite distance away from them. But his features don't even twitch. I think you should do as you wish, my lady. See. All right. Her cheeks are going hot with embarrassment, and her vision is turning hazy with tears. She feels numb in the back of her head. Brother, please tell this to our grandmother. I'll accept the marriage interview offer. She says rapidly and shoots up from her seat.
Huh? What? Are you sure? Are you absolutely sure, Spacey?
A woman doesn't go back on her words. Spacey shouts with a nasal voice and crosses the room with large strides. She glares at Fujita, who's staring at her with his mouth agape, and rushes out. What on earth is wrong with that man? A storm is raging inside Spacey's chest. Vegeta's constantly composed attitude is crushed with little hope that she had left. He doesn't care. He really doesn't think of me as anyone special. Oh, he does. He's just trying to keep it together because, like, for you think this is totally fine and appropriate, and he's like, this is not appropriate. And, like, in all theory, he's not technically wrong. It's not appropriate for someone of your status to marry her and fall in love with your butler, but not that it didn't happen a lot. You know what I mean? But she's more furious than sad. And even though she's like, times are changing, and he's like, nope, status quo. He might be a loyal servant who'll listen to everything she says, but apparently she can't command his heart. Obvious, she knows, but that doesn't stop her from feeling terribly annoyed. Fine, go along with the matchmaking. I will do it, and I don't care what happens next. She thought she was able to build a closer relationship with him, but apparently that was just her selfish mind talking. Realizing this, Spacey finds herself resenting the obstinate Fujita. But more than that, she resents herself. Why does she have to care so much about him? He keeps pushing her away, so why is she still drawn to Fujita? We can't control our emotions. Haven't we all had thoughts like this? Why? Why do I do this to myself? Because your emotions are stupid. They're not logical. Otherwise, they'd be your logic. Your logic and your emotions are always at odds. It irks her that she can't even seem to understand her own feelings. Yeah, and then that too. You're like, I don't understand. Try to process your own emotions. No one gives her the answers to those questions. She's sure Fujita doesn't know the answers either. This might be love. So she once thought. But is love supposed to be this painful? Again, the question for the ages. Shouldn't love not be painful, but yet kind of always is? Especially when it's unrequited. You're like, oh my god, I have a crush on someone. You're totally into that. You break your heart. Whether you're just like, I have a crush. I'm giddy and happy now. They're never gonna love me. And then you like have all that existential crisis about it. Or when you're in love with someone and everything's good, and then all of a sudden they're like, yeah, I'm out. And you're like, or you watch Yuri on Ice and it's so happy and wonderful. And when it's over, you just feel like a hole was ripped in your heart because it's such a beautiful love story. And it's so perfectly done that when it's over, you just feel like something's missing in your life. I can never get through the whole thing. I watched that anime once. The whole way through, and afterward I was like, I hurt. It felt like someone just broke up with me. Not quite as bad, but like, it had those lingering that pangs. You're like, oh, I just feel sad and lonely now, because it's like, I was just so happy, and it was such a beautiful love story that it just hurt so much when it was over. It's not even like, you're like, I finished that anime. Alright, well, I'll watch something else. You know what I mean? It was different. It was like, oh, I hurt. I feel so empty and alone and sad. Like, I don't know. Because it's so beautiful. You're living vicariously through this freaking perfect goddamn romance. It's the perfect love story. And then it ends and you're like, but I miss everything now. I don't make the rules, okay? That is just what happened when I watched it the first time. It's like, I'll never forget. I'm not 100% sure if I've ever fully finished it all the way through, or I get like a couple episodes left and then I'm like, okay, wait, don't finish watching it, because then I know, I gotta go back to that. I was making a friend of mine watch it too. We started having one like, oh, okay, we'll have like pizza and anime night and we'll get together and watch it. And we started watching it. And then we haven't done that in like a year. So, but it's one of those, oh, I love that. I love it so much. Not gonna watch it though, because it's gonna make me feel sad and lonely when it's over. I don't know, but anyway. Exactly this. Is love supposed to be this painful? Yes! Because then it's over. If so, then this version of love is sure so different. Wait. Is sure so different. That doesn't make sense. But anyway, this version of love is so different from the fleeting, bittersweet, and vague feeling that she once felt for her gardener, Majima. The feeling she has for Fujita is more tenacious and so imbued with heat. She didn't know she was capable of carrying such intense emotion in her. Sometimes she even considers hurting Fujita with all her strength. There isn't a trace of kindness in this emotion, but is it still love? It's the anger that comes with having your heart broken. Whatever, I've had enough. I've had enough of you, Fujita. She spits those words in her mind, but a part of her knows they're but a lie. Still, the urge to charge forward is unstoppable. Daisy knows for the first time now that she can be rash. The realization chills her to the bone. I think we're going to do the marriage interview so they can see Majima and then peace out. Because that kind of got us closer to, Sheba, you know? Macy's reply has made her grandmother happy. Her grandmother wasted no time to arrange the marriage and arrange the time and place for the marriage interview. And now, here Spacey is, meeting her interview partner at Teikoku Hotel. Oh, interesting, so this isn't exactly the same. It's slightly different. Well, it would be different, because the last time Sheba busted in, so he's not gonna bust in this time. And say we're lovers. That makes sense. Pleased to meet you, Spacey. The pleasure is mine. He's a bespectacled man who seems to have a serious character. In that sense, perhaps this man resembles Fujita a little. But compared to Fujita, the man's stature is shorter and smaller. His skin is a bit tan, a stark contrast to Fujita's pale skin, considering he's half British. I'm so honored to meet you. Thank you for agreeing to meet a man like me. No, please, the pleasure is mine. She pays only half of her attention to the man's story. Sitting next to her is her grandmother, who's busy exchanging praises with the members of the Ida family. Overall, it's a lively atmosphere. Being a man with a brilliant mind, Katsue appears to be a logical and graceful man. However, the way he's oogling Spacey is in such an obvious way is a huge turnoff. What am I even here for? She knows she chose to be here, but she can't stop questioning her attendance now that she's here. Vegeta would probably never make such an undignified face in front of a member of the opposite sex that he's interested in. He would never shower her crush. Never shower her crush. I think it's supposed to be his. He would never shower his crush with useless compliments to make her grow fond of him. That makes a little more sense. Macy realizes that she's been constantly comparing this guy with Fujita. Staring at the young man in front of her, who seems to be a serious and sincere person, if not a little uncouth, Macy thinks, I can't marry him. Never. In the end, that's the thought that's crystallized in her mind. She can't fall in love with this guy. Agreeing to marry him when she feels nothing at all is not the sincerest thing that she can do for this guy. Macy came to this place riding the flow, but now she's regretting it so badly. She just wants to go back to the manor, and she spends the rest of the meeting in a daze. Okay, so we're not going to have the exact same thing happen. I thought maybe we do the same thing, get a ride back, they see Majima, and it's a very similar thing, but... When she returns to the manor, Spacey's thoroughly spent. As usual, Fujita greets her while bowing his head. Welcome back. Home, Fujita. At the sight of Fujita, the tension seeps out of her body for the first time that day. She can feel her blood coursing again through her veins. Being around Fujita does have a relieving effect on her. You seem to be exhausted. You're right. I was praying that it would be over soon so I could go home. I see. Fujita says, forcing the words out. The pause doesn't escape Spacey, and she looks up to stare at Fujita. Fujita, yes. The entire time I was there, I was only thinking about you, Fujita. girl, out! I love it. She just comes out with it instead of being like, yeah, I just didn't want to be there. She's like, I was thinking of you the whole time. He's like, excuse me? It was a little shock. And then I got fed up with the entire idea of marrying that guy. I think I could ever do it. My lady... At that moment, the air around them turns thick, pregnant with meaning. Fujita's staring back at her with a troubled look on his face, but his gaze is by no means cold. Macy holds his gaze with bated breath. Oh my god, just kiss me intensely. Wouldn't that be amazing? Oh. But they both hear a car stopping in front of the manor. The moment's gone, and they both look startled. Almost instantly, someone slams the door open. Sheba? A car is slamming the door open. I'm like, that sounds like a Sheba move. Yeah. Hey, my lady. Is the young lady home? Oh, hey, my lady. Is the young lady home? Sheba? Sheba storms into the manor all of a sudden. Macy's jaw drops as she stares disbelieving at this intruder. I just like it. I think it's funny that, like, we're not interested in Sheba. We're not going down his route, and yet he just will not go away. I kind of feel bad because you know his backstory, you know the whole thing, and it's like kind of sweet and adorable. But it's like, you can't be here, sir! Like, stop making yourself the villain of this route. Majima's the villain of the game. You can't be the villain of this route. That's not how it works. Sheba appears to be in a very, very bad mood. He levels Spacey with a glare and clicks his tongue before challenging her. You have a lot to explain. What's wrong with you? What are you saying? You know very well what. Mr. Sheba, please calm down. Shut up! You think I can remain calm after she made a fool out of me? What? How could you entertain me in my marriage proposal and accept a matchmaking offer? How do you know about that? I go to that place a lot, and I happened to see you today. I considered barging into the room, but I feel sorry for you, so I ended up just standing there watching silently. Sheba, so you were there. How could there be such a coincidence? Is Teikoku Hotel part of Sheba's turf? His persistence baffles her, and she gives him an incredulous look. For now, Spacey muses, she needs to soothe Sheba's fury. I think it's funny because she has no intention of marrying Sheba, but but she's worried about offending him? Interesting. Instead of being like, I have no intention of ever marrying you. I had no choice. I couldn't reject someone my grandmother introduced to me. You could have told her about me. What exactly can I tell her? That we're engaged? You seem to be having a very huge misunderstanding. That's it. Spacey's losing her patience. She knows if she responds to him emotionally, they'll only end up in a meaningless argument, but she can't rein in her annoyance any longer. I never officially accepted your marriage proposal. You have no right to barge into this house and shout at me. But you never flat out rejected my marriage proposal either. You're scamming me. This is a marriage scam. I can't believe you're saying all of this. You were the one who dumped the marriage proposal in my lap, and you're the only one thinking that we're engaged. Besides, Catching herself, Spacey clamps her mouth shut. She glances over at Fujita, who she believes is still standing next to her. And he is standing nearby, watching them both so quietly he might as well not be there. He's looking at them as if none of this concerns him. Finding makes her see red. Fujita's cold and stony face has managed to agitate Spacey further, amplifying the heat of her emotions. Oh, we can fly off the handle right now. I like the fact that instead of being, oh, I'm just calm, no, she is like, fucking enraged. I'm gonna do crazy shit! And then she's like, that was dumb. Like, she's a normal fucking person. Like, God, I love this. I did plan to turn down the guy I had that marriage interview with. Really? Both of you were there with your relatives. Clearly everyone who was present expected the interview to lead to a wedding. Don't look at me. They arranged everything for me. The entire time I was there, I just wanted to go home early. Because that guy was boring? Yes. I mean, in terms of personality, I guess yours is more interesting. Huh. Of course. Doty scoundrel doesn't deserve you. Finally, Sheba's mood seems to have improved. She was ready to have a shouting match with Sheba, but when she looked at Fujita, she changed her mind. In all honesty, she wanted to tell Sheba that she's already has someone that she likes. But if she confessed here, she'd only wind up being the pathetic and miserable one. Fujita's indifferent. He'll stay there watching over her from a safe distance, no matter who she marries, no matter who barges into the manor to yell at her. He could have said something to protect me. It's valid. He could have been like, please, sir, calm your tone. Please do not yell at my lady. Like, you know what I mean? And the fact that he did just kind of step back and he's like, gonna just not get involved. He did say, please calm your tone, but that was just it. Instead of kind of getting in between and like, I'm gonna need you to calm the fuck down, sir, and don't scream at my lady like that. Although she knows it isn't in Fujita's capacity to talk back to Sheba. Okay, maybe it's that. But I still, you know what I mean? I still feel like he could have done a little bit more than he did, but he's just here to stand guard by her side and watch her. Happy now? You have nothing to worry about, so if you could do me a favor and go home, that would be great. I'm exhausted. Guess it's understandable. I can only imagine how fed up you must be feeling having the mention of marriage brought up every time you lose a parent. Now that you mention it, yes, it is annoying. Anyway, I got it. I'll excuse myself and leave you alone, for now. You lie to me and marry that guy. I'll take you away from him, by force if necessary. Don't worry. I have no intention of marrying him, so you won't have to kidnap me. Is Sheba gonna kidnap us? I thought Majima was the kidnapper. Pfft, you're still the loveliest. Very well, then. Sheba leaves, looking much calmer than when he first came to the manor. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of liked Sheba for the fact that he's like, I'll fucking kidnap you and run away with you whether you like it or not. Sir, I actually don't mind that. That sounds kind of hot. But don't steal me from Fujita. Steal me from the other guy. Sure. Cool. Into that. I'm into it. Is that going to be a bad ending? There should be so many bad endings. Like one where we marry some other dude and then we're fucking Fujita on the side and it's like this bittersweet, like, I love him, but I can't be with him. And you're like, oh, the kind of angst. You can't really love him, even though you're loving him. You know what I mean? Or the one where Sheba kidnaps you away from Fujita and you're like, I kind of like it because Sheba kidnapped me and I'm into it. But also, no, poor Fujita. He's supposed to be our love interest now. You know? Like, there's so many. I don't know. The bad endings are going to be good though, because like the Sheba one where we killed him and he knew about it, and then we just felt awful at the end was so good. You're like, that hurt so bad. Damn, good job. This whole game is amazing. I'm having a great time. Anyway, up until now, she used to think that Sheba's a cunning man, but he unexpectedly has a very childish side to him. Sheba's impulsiveness to barge into the manor out of fury, although Spacey finds it a little too extreme, she does quite like it, and that's surprising. Like, now we're like, see, she's kind of into it too. That part of Sheba is such a contrast to Fujita. Sheba's words and behavior are the total opposite of Fujita's, seeing as Fujita's a man who rarely expresses his interest in anything. Who would have thought Mr. Sheba would be there to witness everything by chance? Yes, I'm just as surprised as you are. Fujita said is only logical, but there's this urge bubbling up in her to yell at him in hopes of eliciting another response out of him. She bets that to Fujita, the urge is nothing but unreasonable. The thought soon fills her entire being with emptiness. The next day, Spacey gets on a rickshaw headed toward the manor of Kyoko. She's disgusted with herself. She's going to meet Kyoko today just to annoy Fujita, but he's also the reason she was distraught by Sheba's trespassing. She knows this isn't the time to let a man swing her from joy to despair with each one of his meaningless, stupid gestures. She's supposed to be focused on trying to uncover the villain that's trying to shroud her home in darkness as revenge for her dead parents. I ended up being way too dependent on Fujita, having expectations of him only to get disappointed. What on earth have I been doing? Right. She needs to set her priorities straight. Bellflowers. She needs to unravel the mystery first. Her grandmother seemed like she knows something. For sure, but her grandmother's behavior also made it clear that she wouldn't be willing to divulge any information. Which means Lady Kyoko is the only person she could rely on to tell her about her mother's past. So here Spacey is on her way to the residence of the Amami family. Of course, she already asked for an appointment over the phone. She's keeping it a secret from Fujita. Knowing him, he'd probably scold Spacey to no end. Most importantly, though, she just wants to save herself from the pain of having to converse with Fujita. She'll only be in the lady's manor for a short while. It'll be fine, she assures herself. Eventually, the rickshaw arrives at the lady's manor. Nice. The manor's an impressive building surrounded by a tall, tall fence. The gate to the Amami family's manor is grim, and standing in front of such a daunting sight is starting to make make her nervous. To be able to go home with more clues today. She can't wait to find out more about the truth, but she's equally scared. However, she's the only one now who can find the reason for her parents' deaths. The thought pushes aside her fears and sorrows. She feels compelled to take action now. Perhaps noticing the rickshaw parked in front of the manor, a maid rushes out to the manor to greet Spacey before she can offer a greeting of her own. Welcome! We've been waiting for you! The maid says hastily and practically drags Spacey inside. I forgot Kyoko's voice. Thank you for coming here, Spacey. Shortly after the maid walked her into the parlor, Lady Kyoko comes to greet her. Right, the lady is gorgeous. Spacey watches her like she's just been reminded of the lady's beauty. A series of unexpected misfortunes has befallen the Nomiya household since the night of the evening party, but the lady hasn't changed one bit. But that's true for everyone else. For society. Look at all the crazy stuffed animals in here, like the fox head and shit on the wall. Like, this is a scary-ass room. The Nomiya household might still be falling down an abyss, and Spacey herself might be writhing in pain, but the world is still turning, unchanging in its ebb and flow. It's taught her how truly small the world she used to exist in was. Indeed, Spacey's life has been revolving around Fujita, particularly following the death of her mother. The fact slaps her in the face with Kyoko's presence before now. Kyoko's presence before her now. Wow, okay. My apologies for dropping by all of a sudden. Oh, stop it! You're welcome here anytime. I mean it. Feel free to stop by whenever you want. Lady Kyoko, thank you very much. Taking a small sip of the coffee that the maid brought for her helps calm Spacey down. Helps Spacey calm down. Wow, I can't read today. We're at the end, so it's fine. Will the lady reprimand her for what she's about to ask? Not to mention that she's here on short notice? Nervously, Spacey opens her mouth. So, I have a question for you, Lady Kyoko. That's what I came here for. Oh, and what is it, sweetheart? I'll try my best to answer your question. Well, it's, about my mother? About Shigeko. Is there something you want to know about her? Hold on, I have sneezed. Hold on, I have a second one. Wait. Yeah. I'm sorry. I did laundry and I used like scenty beads because like the clothes that there's only certain clothes that I wash with the like scenty beads, especially if they're new from Black Milk Clothing, because like they always come like smelling chemically, like because of the processing or whatever on them. So like anytime I get new ones, I wash them, but I also those clothes anytime I wash like my normal ones, the everyday wear ones, or anything that I've worn, I wash those and I put the scenty beads on them, and then that's the only stuff I put the scenty beads in. But I think I put a little bit too many in because like now I can just smell them and it's like making my allergies go crazy. So like, because I just did them earlier, so it's like that's all I can smell right now. But anyway, have you heard of the Chinese bellflowers? Why, of course. You're talking about the kikyo flowers, right? Spacey begins to explain, confining the mysterious events to the lady. She tells her about the bellflowers in her father's hands, how her mother looked terrified after spotting those flowers, about how countless bellflowers were always strewn about by her mother's pillow. Those stories indeed sound unnatural. The maternal grandmother seems to know something, but she doesn't look like she's willing to tell me anything. I see. Bellflowers, huh? Kikyo. The lady puts her fingers around her chin and thinks. I might have a vague idea. What? Do you really? Yes, but it's nothing I'm sure of. It's just, I might have heard that name in Shigeko's life before. Hold on. I don't know why the music got really loud and it's like blasting in my ear all of a sudden. Excuse me. Oh gosh, what is it? Come in. A man from the young lady's house is here. Huh? Oh, I wonder what he wants. Let him through. Well, he said he's going to wait outside until your conversation is over. It's Fujita. Absolutely. Huh. What is that supposed to mean? Lady Kyoko. Spacey shoots up from her seat on the couch. There might be something urgent at home, so... And that makes sense.
If it weren't for something important, this person wouldn't be here to pick you up. Is he that butler of yours?
Maybe. I'm sorry. I know I came here on short notice, and you were so kind as to let me in, but
It's fine. Feel free to come again. From what you told me, your household seems to be in danger, so please let me help.
Yes, thank you very much. I'd be like, he can fucking wait. Finish this conversation. She walks out of the manor, and sure enough, Fujita is there, waiting for her. Fujita and his seemingly permanent stony face. However, relief immediately floods his face when his eyes land on Spacey. That's so funny, we left and now we got him worried. Fujita, what's wrong? My lady, are you done talking? Not really, but I can't keep you waiting for me here, outside the manor. I see. Well then, shall we go home? What? Hey, wait, Fujita! Before she can press Fujita to explain what he came here for, Fujita pulls her arm and drags her away. Oh. Fujita bows to the maid of the Amami family, who's there to see them off, and half forces Spacey to get into the car that he drove to come here. He's like, can we just grab? Shove. The car's engine roars to life. Fujita's driving in silence. Spacey stares anxiously at his profile. Everything happened in a blur, and she isn't sure she fully comprehends what's just transpired. Hey, what's wrong? Are we in trouble again? Yes. Oh no. Oh, God, is my brother dead already? Because you know he died. Actually, didn't he die in Sheba's good ending, too? Yes, because in one of the bad endings, we blamed Sheba for his death, and that's why we went after Sheba to kill him. But, like, in the good ending, he still died, right? So does he still commit suicide with a prostitute? Damn! My brother doesn't get it. Like, that poor fucker. Well, if he can't have me, I guess he's gonna drown himself, so whatever. I will explain it to you in detail once we've arrived at the manor. Although he looks and sounds composed, as per usual, his way of driving is a little rough. It's like his way of driving shows just how dire the problem Fujita is currently keeping to himself is. Spacey grows increasingly uneasy. I'm uneasy. I think our brother might be dead. Something happened to her brother? Or maybe to someone else. Or he's just like, I didn't want you there and I need to get you away. That lady will tempt you away. It could be that, but I'm just thinking our brother's dead. Silence between them is making Spacey panic. What exactly is going on here? They've arrived at the manor and are walking toward the entry hall, but Fujita still doesn't say anything. Hey, Fujita, can you tell me what happened now? Feeling her limbs numb, Spacey asks, but he doesn't even turn her way. This is strange. Spacey trots around to stand in front of Fujita. His expressionless and cold eyes are gazing down at her. His features are unreadable, and she's beginning to feel impatient. Fujita, answer me! Why? Huh? Why did you leave the manor without telling me anything? His voice is low and devoid of emotions. The question seems to have come out of nowhere, and Spacey's perplexed. Did he literally just drag me away from Kyoko? Like, yes, something happened! You left without telling me! I'm hurt! Did he just have a drama fit? Is that what this is about? I thought our brother was dead. I still think our brother might die, but... This is when she realizes, for the first time, that there's something odd with Fujita. It's not the house. Whatever's wrong has nothing to do with the household. Not exactly. It's Fujita. He's acting weird. Fujita, what's the matter? How badly do you think I was worried about you? She gulps. Oh, God, he yelled. Oh. Fujita's just raised his voice. Spacey stills in her spot at the first outburst that Fujita's shown her. He's furious. He's exposing his emotions, glaring at her with silent flames burning in his eyes. Finally, the understanding dawns on her. Fujita must have been desperately searching for her. That's why he came to pick me up? Yes. Fujita replies, his features taunt as he looks like he has nowhere to channel his anger toward. When I realized that you were gone, my lady, I started by searching the manor. But when I could not find you, I grew anxious, wondering if you were involved in some sort of incident. And so I began calling people and visiting their houses to find you. Never imagined you'd be in the Amami family's manor, though. Fujita recounts. Yeah, Fujita recounts and heaves out a long, suffering sigh. I believe I already told you that it's best to stay away from that lady. I'm not gonna let you limit my range of friendship. Her emotions are starting to buzz within her. This is where we start arguing and we get angry at each other and then we passionately kiss as he slams me up against the wall. Right? That's what I want. Spacey was shocked at first to witness Fujita's menacing attitude, but now she's gradually getting angry. Besides, what's so wrong with going out for a short while? I did plan to come home early anyway. Where I go and what I do with whom barely has anything to do with you. Ridiculous that you'd nag me for this specific occasion. Ridiculous. Vegeta's eyebrow twitches. My lady, you should know very well the situation of this household now. The late master and madam's death were unusual. Would it be so ridiculous if I did get worried because you left the manor without telling me anything? Would it be so bad if I, the butler of the house, tried to locate your whereabouts? If I wanted to make sure you're safe, my lady? Here you go again. Butler this, butler that. Can't you say something else? Spacey's voice, too, is getting louder. Oh. Break down. I'm doing this as the butler is Fujita's favorite phrase. She's so annoyed that her pulse is beating fast and her entire body feels hot. Part of you is exactly why I left the manor without telling you anything. What do you mean? Talking to you makes me feel unpleasant. Oh, that's hurtful. Fujita looks utterly shocked and speechless. Spacey herself can't believe what she's just said. She just voiced the other end of the emotion that's been accumulating inside her up to now. Talking to Fujita's painful. Toys with her feelings. It drains her energy. She cares about him and she feels attached to him. As a result, the feelings inside her have become a jumbled mess. It's pathetic and she hates how pitiful she is. And now she's gone and put that turmoil into words that shift the blame to Fujita. Is that so? The color is drained from Fujita's face, and his previous rage is now just a shadow. We just broke him. Oh, that hurt so bad. I love the turmoil, though. It's good, because you're like, no, stop, fix it. We're going to fix it later, but right now we have to stew in this pain. Oh. I had no idea you hated me so much, my lady. Huh? All the things I've done for you. I did them all with your interest in mind. But they seem to have backfired. Fujita mutters, disheartened. Spacey gasps. Fujita seems to have taken her words at face value. You're wrong, Fujita. Spacey begins, impatient to clear the misunderstanding. She can't seem to pull her thoughts together or form her words well. You're wrong. I don't hate you. I really don't. If anything, I like you. I like you, and that's why it's all so painful. What? Vegeta stares at her like she's suddenly a particularly difficult puzzle to solve. I can't believe we just came out with it. I thought it was going to be this turmoil, and we're like, I don't hate you, I love you. And it was going to be like a later thing, but she's like, it's not that, it's I think I love you. Wait, what? He's like, oh? And she's like, huh? Did I just say that out loud? Good job for the communication. He looks at her as if he doesn't quite understand what she's just told him. Spacey's face falls. She's just made an important confession, but her crush doesn't even comprehend it. Well, I mean, it kind of came out of nowhere, and you're in the middle of an argument. He's like, you hate me, and you're like, no, I love you. And he's like, wait, what now? Like, it's a little confusing, girl. You're also a little confused that you said it. Come on. Yes, I like you. Every little thing you do wrenches me from joy to sorrow and back again. And I hate this feeling. I get happy every time you talk about yourself, no matter how trivial. It's painful whenever you treat me as your master. I know you're not interested in me. That's why I hate being so aware of everything you do. That's why I thought of doing things on my own. My lady, Vegeta's getting more and more confused. Are you saying that you left the manor without saying anything because you hate talking to me? Not just that. I went to see Lady Kyoko to ask her about my mother's past. And I figured you'd only nag me if I said that, so... But that aside, I've been growing tired of talking to you about stuff. Tired of feeling miserable, like I just told you. I get my hopes up only to have them crushed. Not that I didn't know I'd only end up feeling despair, though. Despair? Vegeta parrots with a crestfallen look on his face. It looks like that's the one word he never wants to hear coming out of his master's mouths. What exactly am I doing to make you feel despair, my lady? You don't get it, do you? Spacey mutters lowly. It's like he's just like, you're sad every time you talk to me, you hate talking to me. And she's like, it's because I love you! What part of that are you getting? I love you, you're not into me, so it hurts when we talk. Like, she totally just explained it, and he's like, so you don't want to talk to me? Like, he's not mapping in that brain. This isn't going to go anywhere. She could give Vegeta an hour-long speech, and he still wouldn't understand, would he? You're going to have to kiss him. Here she is, talking to him as another human being, as a woman, but he's talking to her with their master and servant relationship always in the front of his mind. Kiss him, girl. Never mind. My lady. Spacey lets out a long-suffering sigh. Wow, that just seems to be the common thread here. He's always long-suffering sighing at us, and this time it's our turn. This entire conversation has drained her energy dry. She just wants to return to her room and curl up in her bed. When she turns away from Vegeta, he calls out to her hastily. My lady, wait. What? We shouldn't waste our time continuing our conversation. Clearly it wasn't going anywhere. Still, we need to sit down and talk, or we'll never find a solution. For the love of... They're just on totally different pages. God damn it, just kiss me, Vegeta. Her emotions are on fire, burning past the boiling point. I'm telling you that I like you, okay? But you never reacted. Not when I decided to go to that matchmaking interview. Not when another man barged into this manor to confront me. You didn't even bat an eye. If that doesn't mean you're not interested in me, I don't know what does. Who wants to confirm time and time again that their crush isn't interested in them? Spacey spits the words out, glaring at Vegeta, who's watching her in silence. I love the fact that we just confess so easily, and we're just like, it just sucks because I'm in love with you, but you don't have interest in me, and it hurts, okay? So I just need to be alone for a little while to get over it, alright? Like, we're being so, like, because that's, like, such a normal thing. Like, you have a crush on someone, and you're just like, I have a crush on you, and I know you don't feel the same, but I just gotta get over it, okay? I'll be fine. I just gotta get over it. Because it sucks right now. And that's such a normal fucking human thing, and it's just, I just like that they're doing it, and she's like, look, for God's sakes! How can he still be so calm? This is all too much, too painful for Spacey to bear. Too suffocating. I can't wait till he just kisses us. I don't want it to end like this. I need this impassioned kiss, and then it's like, good, you know? She likes him. Yes, she likes Vegeta. Now that she's voiced her feelings, they stay in her mind as the truth. But she doesn't think she'll ever say them out loud again. The more she puts her feelings into words, the more they'll end up in vain. Must unrequited love be this excruciating? Please just leave me alone. My lady... Right now, I don't want to talk to you or see your face. My lady. Oh, yes! My God, I feel so vindicated. Oh, I'm gonna die. This is exactly what I wanted. I'm like, don't let me walk away. Just grab me and kiss me, goddammit. Thank you. He's grabbing us and kissing us, CG, in case you didn't get that from my freaking ecstatic reaction. I didn't want, like, this is perfect. I hate it when games are like, let's fight, and then we don't talk about it, and then it takes forever for us to just communicate. No, we were communicating, like, 100% on point. And then it was like, okay, now you just need to step up, Vegeta. Just fucking step up. And he fucking stepped up. That's why I love this game. It does exactly what you fucking should do. Communicate, and then just fucking kiss us so that you're communicating your feelings. Instead of just letting it go, and then we have to stew, and then it's anger, and it's angst for so long when it's like, you know, I mean, I get it sometimes why that makes sense, but, like, they sometimes just drag it out too much in games, and you're like, well, you people just communicate! We did! Oh, God! We love it! Dude, I don't know what's wrong with me, but I'm just so here for this! What just happened? Her mind goes completely blank, rendering her brain incapable of forming coherent thoughts. She's trapped, caged within Fujita's arms and pressed against his broad chest. The same scent that she smelled for the first time in the theater is enveloping her. She can feel the heat radiating right in front of her cheeks. Something hot and soft is pressed against her lips. Fujita's face is too close to her that she can only see a blurry image of his skin. His long eyelashes are fluttering, and she can tell that the high bridge of his nose is pressed against the side of her own nose. She can't breathe. It's suffocating. Cheetah! I'm not moaning. I can't do that. All of a sudden, he lets go of her. Yeah, he just realized what he did, but I love the fact that he just impassionedly fucking kissed us. Like, I will fucking kiss you, and then we're like, Fujita? And he's like, shit. Did I just do that? Good job, boy! The movement so unexpected and harsh, nearly giving her whiplash. What have I done? Fujita's fair skin is painted in red. His purple eyes are open wide, locked on Spacey like he can't believe she actually exists. I love that, though. I love the fact that that he just did it, and then he's like, oh, fuck. Yes! What on earth have I done? Huh? Fujita. My apologies. My deepest apologies. Fujita whirls, breaking into a run and disappears. I like that he totally just lost his shit, kissed us, and then was like, oh crap, and then ran. The man ran. I love it so much. Instead of being like, I'll be leaving now, and then just walking away like a butler. No, he hauled ass. He so broke his own character. I love it. Spacey stares disbelievingly at the space where Fujita was standing. The only thing he's left behind for her is the sound of his retreating footsteps. It's his problem. She can't believe he ran away just like that when he was the one who kissed her first. And he had the gall to stare at her like she was the one who forced him to kiss her and run from her. Such an enigma, Fujita. What does he want? Judging from the way he behaves, Spacey doubts he intends to accept her feelings. Still, it was such an impulsive kiss. What was that for? Her thoughts are in chaos, preventing her from making sense of the situation. I mean, I totally get that, but it's like, he's not going to accept my feelings. I mean, I think he just did. He just admitted that he's in love with you too, even if he can't accept your feelings, but he kind of just admitted he's in love with you. So girl, but she's like, but I don't, and now she can't compute either. I love it. We're two broken calculators over here, can't math. Her fingers move on their own accord to trace her lips, to feel the heat that he's pushed onto her. It was her first kiss. Who would have thought her first kiss would be so inexplicable and bitter? I love this! It's taking forever for debate. Ah! That was the best way to spend 7 minutes over time! God damn! Best part ever! God damn, I love this game! It does exactly what you expect it to do, what you want it to do, what you hope it does, and it does it! Damn it! Anyway, I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.